Hello everyone, and we are on location. I am currently sitting in my car and I decided to come out here to a beautiful cemetery. It's one of my favorites to visit. It's not particularly maintained. They do some weed whacking like once a year around Memorial Day, and that's about it. And so there's no cement vaults really, especially the older graves, so the ground's super uneven and you don't have lawnmowers coming every week or so. It's kind of nice to not have the beautiful manicured cemeteries, and also the graves are very unique. You've got some really fun old ones out here. So anywho, decided to come out here and talk about this book. So if you couldn't guess by the title, we're talking about The Magical Household by Scott Cunningham and David Harrington. This book I had a hard time with. It took me nearly a month to get through this book, and that's odd because normally Scott Cunningham books I can get through pretty quick. I love his writing, and this was just one, and I've seen other people talk about it, not their favorites of his. And hopefully the cars driving on the roads over here aren't too loud in the background. And I kind of had to agree. It wasn't that the writing was bad, it's just that it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for in a lot of ways. I had kind of hoped that there was a bit more of a kind of how-to for creating your magical household, opposed to just more folklore, which is what that book is. It's a collection of folklore and like a couple actually written down rituals to do. And so if you're looking for like a folklore book on various ways in which over the years, semi-recent or very old, of household little spells and rituals and things, if you're, a homestead cottage witch kind of a deal, you'll probably get more out of it. I was hoping more for the practical side of here in spring, here's some things to do to bless your house. And, if you've, it's there, but it's not. And I don't know if it was just the layout of it that the information just wasn't really jiving. But I've seen that it didn't have the greatest of reviews, and I can kind of see why. And again, the information is good. It's got some really great stuff. It just also was kind of hard to get into, to the point that I don't even have an extended discussion because there was nothing to expand upon, really. I think I might have had one or two quotes in the entire book, and even then it was just basically hey, magic works in different ways, or magic needs to go with the mundane, kind of already reiterated in so many books. So it was there's not even an extra thing to say about this book. Now if I was looking for a specific thing, I might flip back through it and look and see what I can find. But the fact that it's every paragraph, they're short paragraphs, and each one is just a random folklore tip. And so if you took your own notes and crafted it in a way that would apply to your life, that would be great. I didn't feel like doing that because a lot of it I was just kind of maybe one day I'll use that, maybe. And so it was just kind of not great, which sucks because I love Scott Cunningham and I wanted to read one of his books in honor of it'll be, or I guess it is now, 28 years since he passed. So trying to keep his memory alive and whatnot. But yeah, it was just not one that I thoroughly enjoyed, which sucks because again, normally I like his writing. And perhaps if I was actively looking for that kind of content, maybe I would like it more. And again, if I had a notebook and was actively trying to find information on stuff, perhaps. But it was alright. It wasn't great. And I got to admit, listening to the audiobook, because I did end up buying the audiobook with one of my Audible credits, that went better than trying to read it. Listening to it, it just feels kind of like a podcast. It's more of just the different tips and tricks that, somebody could have labeled it as a more professional podcast episode of, magical household folklore. And then you'd be down for it, and you'd be like, oh, these are some cool ideas I might be able to use. But it just didn't feel like there was enough rituals and spells to do, because it was just hidden in paragraphs. And again, if you wanted to look through them, maybe you could find something that you would like. But I couldn't get into it, and I don't know. It was weird. Because again, normally I like Scott Cunningham. Normally I've loved all of his books, even if they're topics I don't particularly care about, like his Hawaiian magic. I don't know that I'm ever going to go to Hawaii, but you know, it was interesting and he loved it. And so this one, and they talked about at the beginning of the book that him and the other author really kind of struggled with how to get that book written. So I don't know, I kind of felt like I could feel that in the writing, that it just needed to be honed a little bit more, a little more time spent contemplating it, perhaps. Or again, maybe I'm just not driving with it right now, but at a different time I might love it. Because again, I really do love his works, so it's weird to not like one of them. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. I decided to do something a little different today, so hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing this beautiful view. It's one of my favorite places to come, just to chill and relax. I know not a lot of people go to cemeteries to relax and just get a piece of calm, but I do. I haven't done it in a long time, and this is my second or third time recently coming to different cemeteries and just hanging out. Even just for a little bit, not even necessarily leaving my car, just sitting in my car, just admiring the view. There's just something about coming to a place like this, getting away from the chaos of life for a minute and getting some perspective. But yeah, so anyways, hope you enjoyed seeing this beautiful view on I guess you'll probably see this today or tomorrow. I'm recording this on Tuesday. I think I might post it either today or tomorrow, depending on time after work. But yeah, so anyways, that's my thoughts on these books. Sorry to my patrons, I do not have any additional things to really say about this book, so it's just this one for this book. But I will have more things coming. My next book that I am reading, I do have a lot more thoughts to say. It's an interesting book. I'll give you a little sneak preview. I'm talking about Rune Mysteries, and it's by two people. One is Silver Ravenwolf, the other one, I don't know their name. But it's a guidebook that went with a rune deck that they used to sell. They don't anymore. I think it was the 90s, might have been early 2000s when it came out initially. And I was like, oh, all right, maybe it'll still have some good information because I'm still working on the runes. And this book I thought was expensive used, because most of the used copies I've gotten of books are, even like some of Scott Cunningham's that are out of publication, much like this book is, they're only like $8, $10, $5. Like, they're not expensive. This book was like, I think it was like listed as 48 something, and then you had to pay a few bucks in shipping, so it ended up coming to 53 and some change. And I was like, that's expensive for a singular book that's old and is in acceptable condition, which you never know what you're getting into for that. And I was debating it for like a couple weeks, and then I finally was just like, ugh, whatever, I'll just buy it. So I did, and then I learned that the other copies that are available are even more expensive. Like, I bought that one, end of the day with everything, tax and shipping, came to like 53 something. And we also have a plane up ahead. I don't know if you can see them, but they're there. But I ended up paying like my 53 and whatever change it was. And then I looked at the listing again, and it was at like 400 something. And then I looked again, and then it's at 900 something. And I'm like, reading through this book, it is not worth almost $1,000. I can guarantee you right now, it is not worth nearly $1,000. Because again, dang, it is, whew, that is a lot of money for a singular book. I'm still going to talk about it, but I'm reading it, and I have questions, but oh my, $900 for a book, that's a lot to ask. So anyways, that one will be coming soon. I don't know if we'll be back in the usual spot or if we're gonna go exploring more. Because I do want to get out a little bit more. So anyways, figured this was a good thing to do, to come sit in a cemetery for a few minutes before I head off to work. So anyways, thank you for coming along for this book review. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me and the channel, I do have a Patreon. If you don't have the funds, a like, comment, and subscribe does just as well. So thank you so much for making it through the end of this very long and rambly video, and I will talk to you guys later.